Good morning. As you raise your right hand, you solemnly swear the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir. State your name for the record.
Carolina de
Can you spell the first name first of all?
Carolina.
And Ms. Davis, how are you related to Jordan? Ms. Steph. And how long have you been married to Mr. Davis?
12 years.
I'm sorry.
12 years. 12 years.
And did you prepare a statement today to tell Judge Healy how the murder of Jordan Davis has impacted you as his stepmother?
Yes.
Would you like to read that statement?
Take your time.
On November 23rd, 2012, my life and my family life has changed. After I returned to Jacksonville from Atlanta, Georgia, I had to school my mother on a plane back to Mexico. As she spent the Thanksgiving holiday with us, and I didn't want her to connect in Atlanta alone. She kissed Jordan on the head. And prayed for him in the morning prior to his death. I never thought to receive the worst news in my life after such a joyful occasion. I had never seen my husband cry the way he did. I was asleep at home, and I was awakened by a loud cry at the end of the bed. And then I saw water. When I asked him, what happened? He said, my name is gone. Over and over again. I couldn't understand, but I felt the blood drop. I felt my blood drop, and I jumped up and looked in Jordan's room. Ron then said, my baby is dead. I was in shock, and I couldn't believe what he was saying. I screamed, where is Jordan? Where is Jordan? And we both just kept crying. Just feeling. I don't have the words of shit. But he was my kid. Since he was a small child, I never my mind was lost. To me, and I was dreaming that I was dreaming. He prayed on Thanksgiving, and he was so happy that he decided to call all his friends and people he loved. He woke up early on Friday morning to say goodbye to my mom. I told Ron that I don't know how I'm going to tell my mom that Jordan is dead. I called, and my whole family screamed and cried and cried. But it's so difficult. After 2 years, this could hear Ron cry, waking me up, and it's scary. Jordan was a typical teenager, looking at himself in the mirror to see if he was handsome, trying out his new dance moves, and walking around with his headphones, listening to music. He had a beautiful heart for all to see. I always gave him advice, and he listened to me. He loved me and respected me, and I loved him too. 3 days after he died, he was starting for his driving permit, and he left his book. With his notes on the sofa. And it's so sad for me to think that he never had the opportunity to do it. It's also so sad that Lucy, Curtis, Ron, and Nanny were in the funeral home choosing his casket. Instead of both of us choosing his first and hope that and hope that the fans get the sentence that he deserved for taking our son from our life. He was just 17 years old.
Judge, at this time, we will call Ronald Davis.
Davis? Good morning, sir. Good morning. You solemnly swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
State your name for the record, sir,
Ronald Davis.
and how are you related to children?
I'm his dad.
Mr. Davis, have you prepared a statement for Judge Healy as to how the murder of Jordan Davis, your son, has affected you and your family?
Yes, I am.
Would you please read that?
To the Honorable Judge Russell Leland. My life, as I known it, was shattered on November 23rd, 2012. Black Friday, as it was commonly called, for the day after Thanksgiving. I now call it Black Friday for a completely different reason for me and my family. I will never forget that phone call from Tanya Brunson to me at work. That my son Jordan, my baby boy, had been shot. She could not have possibly said shot, so I asked her again and again. She had no idea of the details or whether or not he was still alive because she received the information secondhand from her crying, inconsolable Leland, her son, and Jordan's best friend, who held him in his arms. I left work in tears that I wish no parent has to cry these type of tears. As I headed for the hospital, a small section of my mind allowed in a most terrible thought. I wondered, will death rest its weary bones on my doorstep tonight? After the longest hour of my life, the hospital confirmed, yes, that Jordan Russell Davis was received in the emergency room. He was dead on arrival. I haven't enough space on this paper or time left in my life, Judge Healy, to tell you about all the feelings surging through my mind and my body. All I can say is that the old Ron Davis, for all intents and purposes, died that very night with joy. I was a happy man, looking forward to family holidays and the next steps toward guiding my son to manhood. I held my son in my arms at the hospital and kissed him for his last goodbye. You see, I gave him his first kiss when he came into this world, and I could never imagine giving him his last kiss. I whispered in the ear that the Lord will now take care of him, and that Grandma will be waiting to guide her. My mother, Eunice Davis, she was through a 6-hour operation for stomach cancer that involved 3 organs at the ripe old age of 77 years old. Just to see Jordan come in this world, She told me before she went into the operating room that God would see her through so that she could hold her grandson in the coming months. My son was named after the mighty river Jordan in the Bible, and his love will continue to flow through all that knew him. He was strong-minded and would not be bullied by anyone. He was taught to believe in the Lord and gave a Thanksgiving afternoon prayer the day before his death. Our family has lost the biggest and the brightest smile of all of us. He made our family gathering so much more fun, and now that laughter just isn't there anymore. Jordan was an avid swimmer who would join me when I went to Jacksonville Beach near the pier. We would have father and son time laughing as the waves knocked us down countless times. My father was Percy Davis, Jordan's grandpa. He came out there with us to the same spot near the pier at the age of 88 to see these same waves come in and go out for the very last time. He died of bone cancer a few weeks later. So there will always be a special place as generations come and go for Jordan and I, jumping the waves and laughing. Not only is Jordan's mother, Lucia McFadden, devastated at the loss of her only son, but my wife, Carolina Davis, has continued to cry for Jordan for these horrible 2 years. She is his stepmom and has been in his life and loved him since he was a small child. He will be missed by his only brother, Ron Davis Jr., and family. My 2 grandsons, they don't understand what happened to their Uncle Jordan. My wife's mother, Mamacita, who loves to cook Mexican food for Jordan and spoil him as her first grandson, continues to cry so loud that we have to keep her out of the courtroom during the trial. Jordan leaves many relatives and friends and schoolmates who love him and miss him. His very special one and only girlfriend was Aaliyah Harris, who he saw during the last few hours of his life. They all cry remembering the good times with Jordan. I could not go back to work since the killing of my son. I tried and it lasted for about an hour, and I went home in tears because it was there that I received the fatal call. In addition to the emotional impact, there was a great financial impact. As I sat through this trial, Judge Healy, I kept looking at the seal behind your head, and it kept saying, "In God we trust." And over again, I kept singing that. And it helped me through this whole court proceeding for the last 2 years. I kept saying, "In God we trust." And I think it's a historical moment in our society where we hear in the South that we can have a jury that rely on the witness and the testimony and look at their heart and look at Jordan as a person. That's my son. Judge Healy, Jordan Davis will always be 17. As Darwin said, forever 17. And I want you to know